Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ellen Explains It All. I feel like it's been a minute. I feel like we've all been very busy, but here we are. If you are new to Ellen Explains It All, this is the web show, which who's new to Ellen Explains It All, right? Um, this is the web show where I demystify AWT rumors, any myths that might be going around with our executive director, Amanda Chin, and today also with our board president, Molly Shoemaker.
Happy to be here.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for joining.
Newly
Um,
reelected board
Newly
president.
reelected.
oh,
Yeah.
congrats on
We
your
do
your
have to
election.
reelect our leadership every year for the July 1st fiscal year turnover. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
The
Thank you.
people have spoken.
The people have spoken. The other board members have spoken.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Love to see it. I always like to start with a warm-up question before we dive in. So, Amanda and Molly, what is a non-AWT thing that you are really excited for happening in the next, say, 3 months?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
I am really excited to play hooky and go to the beach, which is
Mm,
something I did last year. Actually, like not to bring it back to AWT, but I like had this plan to go and then I was like, "Oh crap, I have all out rehearsal tonight." And then I thought, "But wait, my husband will also be at all out rehearsal, so I can make sure he brings my iPad with my script on it so I don't have to lug that to the beach." And I came sandy and sweaty from the beach to rehearsal and
mm,
it was great.
And
I
glowing.
and glowing, yes. So I don't have
Yeah.
a
glowing.
specific plan yet because it is, it's sort of you got to watch the weather, but I'm really excited to get out there. What about you, Amanda?
In a little over within like a week and a half. So like the Monday after the show's closed, I'm going to Atlantic City with two of
Nice.
my pals, Meryl and Libby. Maybe you guys know them.
Heard of
Um,
them.
yeah, and we're going to Atlantic City on like from a Monday to Thursday
Love it.
because of schedules. But, we are
Yeah.
excited. Yeah.
Both very exciting things.
Where are you staying?
Resorts Hotel.
Love it. You
Yeah,
know what? That is a place that knows what it is, you
It's
know?
very on the
absolutely.
nose.
Resort hotel, kind of similar to AfterWork Theater. It just sort of
Yeah,
tells it like it is, you know?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Great branding.
And while we're there, we're going to do 4 escape rooms.
Oh, dreams. Will any of them be Atlantic City themed escape rooms, you know?
Hmm.
They are almost, from what I recall, one is like boardwalk themed, one is
Okay.
like casino themed,
Yes, excellent.
one I want to say is called Poker Face, but I don't know if that's true.
Yes,
And I mean, if the fourth one isn't Atlantic City themed, I don't know what they're doing with themselves.
right. I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
I've never done an escape room. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild to me.
Yeah. I've done like not a real one. I've done like a little fake one at a convention once, like one of those like temporary, they just kind of moved around, but I've never
Yeah.
done like a real one.
Wow.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe someday soon. We'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'll do to be excited about in three next 3 months, go to an
Yeah.
escape room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Sorry, that sounded like I was being sarcastic. I'm not.
No.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
You're a professional video podcast host,
Yeah. It's just all part of the
Very
segue, you know?
professional. Yeah.
You would never. Yeah.
Never. For this episode, we are bringing back an old topic. We're bringing back Discord. Now that we've officially sort of made that transition from Facebook to Discord, I figured now is a great time to bring it back. It's a little bit more timely. We got a small but mighty group of questions, which excited to dig into. And as always, if I skip your question, it was probably a repeat or more relevant to a future episode. I said that weird, relevant. And in the same vein, your question might have ended up reworded just for logistical reasons. Never any shade. Do not jump up here. Loki wants to be on the desk.
Oh, that wasn't your spouse.
No. Wanting to don't jump up here.
Don't
No,
jump
get
up
down.
here.
I have a sore throat spray, so I might occasionally spray my throat, just so
Thanks
you
for
know.
As you
disclosing.
should. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for being open and honest. Don't knock over. I was gonna knock over my ring light. Okay. And
Married
with that,
life, am I right?
yeah. Just running around knocking shit
Yeah.
over. Let's jump right in. Question one. Are there any community experiences you think Discord will enable that we wouldn't be able to do as easily on Facebook? What kinds and what are you most excited about?
Well, I think there's like the specificity, like we're not gonna go get channel crazy.
Right.
But there, we did set aside like a few areas where like topics can be focused, such as the teal market. That's
Mm,
timely for look seeking and selling tickets to Afterwork Theater shows. And I think by like creating that specificity, it it helps people like focus their interests and like 'cause
Hmm.
people can like join whatever channel they want, so there's like choices and
mm,
options, so I think like the curated experience is really helpful. But on that note, like we kind of talked as a staff, we were like, what about a channel for this, what about a channel for AWT Small World, what about a channel for like looking for like cat sitters? And then Anya was like, these are all great ideas, but then like if we do this, then what is the community forum? I'm like,
mm,
you're right. We're
Yeah.
basically
yeah.
just segmenting it. So I don't know if that really answers the question, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think
just
so.
sort of on that, I think like we'll know when it's time to add additional things. Like I think the sort of the approach that the staff is taking that I really support is like we're just starting off here. It's meant to be supplemental and additive to your after-work theater experience. And I think like this is the situation where like we're not trying to be overly proactive. Like we actually are trying to be reactive because we want to be reactive to the actual like wants and needs of the space. Another thing that I have been enjoying and that has like happened before, but there was just like a more focused place for it is like I personally have just I don't really understand what's happening in Head Over Heels at all. Like I'm really going in blind when I go to see this. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. And what has
Oh,
sort of
good
added to
luck.
that experience for me has been watching the like updates come in on the costume swap
Mm,
channel because I'm like, what could this mean? What could possibly be happening here?
yeah.
And I'm glad for there to be sort of a dedicated place for people to crowdsource things because like for environmental reasons and trying to rely less on fast fashion when we can, I think it's really nice to have that dedicated space to be like looking for white bottoms. Anyone got a white bottom? So yeah, I like that.
Looking for a leather corset. Anyone got a leather corset?
Yeah.
enjoy. It's
Yeah.
absurd.
Yeah.
I will admit this next question was inspired by something I used to do during the pandemic times. Can we have a movie night? Which is something you can do on Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asked and answered. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was talking about it and someone was like, I'm gonna ask. Cool.
Cool.
I love
Do
it. I
it.
mean, and to expand on that, not only yeah, but I love the idea. I think it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You just like you can like stream through the video call, or at least in 2020 you could.
It's pot just asterisk. I do think I have disabled a lot of the video call features presently, so we just need to change that. Which again was just more from a place of like starting off small and then like opening up things as they come up. So just
Yeah.
that's for me and you to figure out.
Yeah, yeah. That makes total sense. We don't want 400 people jumping onto a video call
Yeah.
um, randomly on a Tuesday. This next question is was not for me, but is also something I had in mind, and I know a lot of people had these thoughts.
Hmm.
So far, I'm enjoying the Discord rollout now that I'm starting to get the hang of it, but it's definitely overwhelming pre-show. A protection, if you will, that Facebook had was because it didn't feel like a massive group chat, the anxiety hive mind was a little more tame. I think the pre-show slash cast list anxiety was a little bit more exposed due to the nature of Discord. Will there be different parameters or guidelines for usage pre-show? If so, how will this be monitored or utilized? I want to say I think this was a positive shift. It just definitely sparked a larger anxiety across both cast and creative team since everything was so visible. Head over heels went crazy
Yeah, I do. So I
pre-show.
actually have an interesting perspective, I think, as someone, and I know we'll talk about admin access in a second, but since I have pretty high admin access, have access to everything basically right now.
Yeah.
And so I had the experience of both seeing what the experience was like for Head Over Heels, which we made Discord happen so that we could get it together for Head Over Heels. So
Mhm.
those two things kind of like coincided together versus the experience of doing it for a chorus line,
Mhm.
which I also obviously have visibility into, and Amanda does too. And could like literally could not have been more like night and day
Really?
experiences. Now, different programs, different people in the programs. Also, a big factor I think is like Discord had not just launched.
Mhm.
So there wasn't any of like that sort of feeling coming into it. But I do think that tells me that like it is going to be hard to predict like how and who like perpetrates some of that like anxiety hive mind. And my feeling on that, and Amanda, I'm curious if you have a different feeling than me, but my feeling generally is that like I want everyone to feel like super empowered to mute and distance themselves from things as they see fit. Because I also think that like levels of nervousness or anxiety are also going to be different for different programs based off of like your own personal relationship to those programs. And I think it's going to be hard for AWT as an organization to try to control any of that because there's just like so many different factors that go into that. I know that like as we think ahead to the fall programming, like people are registered into those programs, but those channels don't exist yet. And I think, you know, we had some brief conversation about opening up those channels closer to launch day dates, similar to how we, have a customarily sent out Facebook stuff, maybe a couple weeks before. And I think it is worth us trying that is just, doing like a 2 to 3 weeks out, something like that, making it available
Mhm.
for people to join. And I think that, like, in terms of protocol, like, perhaps we can encourage stage managers when they send out Discord links to also say like, hey, this is like totally optional, only if you want. Like it totally can get overwhelming depending on who you are. Like because it's optional, you
Mhm.
should mute it or you should mute all everything except ats to you or you can mute specific people. Like there's like a lot of stuff that you can control on Discord that you actually couldn't control in the same way on Facebook. So I have a lot of empathy because I saw some of that stuff coming in on Head Over Heels and it's all coming from a place of like people being excited. But I also sort of think that it's not necessarily a Discord point of friction. I think it's just like the nature of being a human being because if it wasn't happening in Discord, like it would be happening in a group chat or like in a Facebook chat or something like there were just like there would be elements of that happening and because these are programs for adults, I do think we need to sort of put it back on the participants to say like you know yourself and like
Mhm.
do what you need to do to put on whatever oxygen masks you need to put on. That was a lot of talking for me. Amanda, do you have anything you want to add on that?
Well, first, +1 to everything Molly said. And the only things I'll add that are either an expansion or new information. Definitely +1 on like if it wasn't happening on Discord, it would happen somewhere else. Discord is simply a platform. And unlike a lot of other Discord servers and unlike a lot of other Facebook groups, it is kind of like a utility for a community that actually occurs in real life. That being said, like the what I gather, I mean, from both firsthand experience of being in a chorus line and what I, witnessed with the lead up to the cast list for Head Over Heels, I gather that the two teams took a very different approach for like how to handle like the waiting game. And I know that Molly was like just was very upfront with us and was like, no shade to anybody who does it differently, but I am not going to like string you along and tease you. I'm not going to be like, it's there and then it's not. And I'm not going to post like, funny content on the drive. But for those who are into doing that, like, great, that's them. And we really do encourage at Afterwork Theater that everybody bring in their own personality and their own way of doing things, as opposed to being like, this is the Afterwork Theater way. I don't know whose voice that was that I just did, but so that's one thing I want to add is that like the manifestation of what's happening will be different with every experience because the real life experience is going to be different. And then the other thing I wanted to add was, oh, I forget. Oh my God. Why did this happen to me? What was I going to say? What was I going to say?
Was it about taking care of yourself, or was it about
No.
no, I mean
Yeah.
No.
is it
Oh, I know
about
what it was. I know what it
great.
was. I truly, truly, truly think Molly kind of touched on this, but with Head Over Heels, there was a lot of shiny new object going on.
Yes.
Mm,
It's like, this is Discord. Let's try out every single feature and like really, really,
yeah.
really be into it. I that'll fade. It'll really fade. So that was just the other thing I wanted to add, which is shorter than me trying to remember what it was.
I thought of one more thing, which is like I just also want to say I think the muting thing also like goes for creative teams as well. Like I personally just like did mute the like a chorus line general chatter thing for a little bit until I was like the cast list is out and it's like now I feel like I want to go back in there and like
Mm,
participate and stuff. But like
Yeah.
beforehand, I had made very clear that I was like, I'm not checking that. So if you need to get in touch with me, here's my phone number, here's my email address. Not looking at that. So like you guys do whatever you want to do on there, like it's not gonna it's fine. Yes, I can see it, but like nothing is affecting me because
mm,
I can just
Yeah.
basically turn it off. And so like I think that it goes both ways because I know at the end, we have a lot of really lovely creative team members who just want to do right by everybody. It's like not meant to be an invitation to be available 24/7,
Yeah.
yeah.
in that way.
I want maybe participants to consider that, like, I know like creative teams are often our friends, and like sometimes things you say to them as a friend when they're not a creative team member lands on them really differently when they are. And
Mm,
like they don't really like hearing things like, oh, I'm not gonna learn that, or oh, like it actually, and I share this with them, it like kind of hurts their feelings. So
mm,
try to consider like how the conversation might land, even though they do have the option to mute, they are there. So consider how some of these things might land on them as a creative team member who is taking this really, really, really seriously.
that all makes sense. I feel like last question was like so big and this one's gonna be so quick. Actually the next two, oh my God. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. Who all has admin access?
Well, I quote unquote own the server,
Okay.
which is a scary, scary thing because I can destroy it all and I
Yeah.
don't want to. And then the next step down is, I believe, admin.
Admin.
And that is me and Molly and Harsha at the moment. And then the next step down is staff.
Yeah, I mean, in those, it's like even hard
Those are
to,
just roles.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like, you'll see people are tagged as different roles, and many of the roles, the staff and the production team, those are like real roles, and that there's like
Mm,
real permissions attached to them. The other roles that you might see are show names, which are called vanity roles, in that they don't actually like change. They give you access to your specific thing, but they don't give you access to do anything differently. And we basically just have those because that's the easiest way to allow people, like when we change the onboarding questions to include more shows, that will be the way that people can easily self-select into the shows that they
mm,
are currently participating in. So, yeah, that's that.
cool.
But, and also just to say, like, if you DM someone, that is like outside of our server. So if you DM someone that's like just on Discord, That's not like under mine and Amanda's jurisdiction, I guess. So that's like that we cannot see DMs. I just want to be clear that that's
Or like group chats.
if it's done through the direct message section of
Hmm.
Discord,
Yeah.
yes. But if you like created a channel that was like our group chat, like technically Molly
Yeah.
and Amanda could see that. So,
Cool. Direct admin question. I
yeah.
have a feeling I know who this is coming from.
Yeah.
Can I please make a reaction emojis of Vinny's face? Thank you so much.
Yeah. This is on, I would say like a long list, like a list of things that I think it would be interesting, like fun for us to figure out what the permission process is for adding custom emojis because we
Mm,
are limited, but it just like I don't know why. It just hasn't been top of the list in terms of figuring out. So this is more to come, more to come on that. It's definitely on the list. It's on the
everyone
list.
stay
So,
tuned
yeah.
for your Vinny emojis.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite use of Discord thus far since our switchover? Nothing.
Feels similar. Nothing.
I kind of like that it's all in one place.
Hmm.
Like when we would use like Facebook groups, like you're in the group and then all the other groups are just somewhere there, you
Hmm.
know? But this already feels like it's like community oriented.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then I can like kind of including threads, which is like another feature I really like. So it's kind of a way to like if for those who haven't used it or encountered it, it's a way to basically start a discussion within a channel. And then it like shows up on the side. So like you kind of have easy access to it. And so if you are being like selective about what you're following, that could aid in your journey.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't said my thing about the costumes already because I do think
Mm-hmm.
that's a
Hmm.
big piece of it. And I mean, I did really like figuring out this onboarding feature because I think it's going to make it pretty easy for people to self-select. And I also think everyone has been really cool about self-selecting into only the shows that they're actually
Hmm.
doing. And I want to say thank you because if that became like a problem and we had to like work around it, it would just be really annoying for us. So it's nice that everyone has just been like, I'm just gonna self-select. Plus, like we can always boot people if we notice someone's in the wrong group. We can boot you out. We can take you out of
Yeah.
there. So, but yeah, that's been nice. And I think it's like been nice to have like a easy as a creative team member, it's been nice to have like an easy place for sort of like last minute things that come up on I guess Wednesday. Where we were rehearsing in Midtown was like literally like on the border of where the police barricade around the garden was, which I like found out because I got like a text alert. And so I was like, oh, and like that I emailed also, but it was just nice because I could see people were online and I was like, great, I at least know these people are gonna like take that into consideration. So that's been nice.
I like the emojis. It's fun and
Yeah.
silly. Okay, last question. What's been an unexpected difficulty since making the switch from Facebook?
I think figuring out all the roles and
Yeah.
permissions,
Hmm.
it's like really great. I mean, which is great.
Yeah.
It's
There's
really
so many
granular. Yeah.
options that it was sort of hard to figure out like what would make sense for us.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I totally get like you can pay people to set up your Discord for you, and I totally understand that feels valuable to me, even though I think it's fine that we did it the way that we did it. But now
Yeah.
having done it, I'm like, I get that. I understand. That's
Molly, I think you can now get paid to set up people's Discords.
maybe
You're
yes.
really
Yeah.
good.
Thanks.
You've solved some pretty unique problems.
Yeah. Wow.
And you
Thank
should be
you.
proud of yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I am proud of
And
myself.
I hope everyone, I tried to make it clear, but
You
Molly
did.
was really carried almost all of the weight in this transition and in setting up our server. So and I was just like I was just in a frozen state of deer in the headlights for like 6 months. And Molly was like, I'm gonna take this over from you and I'm gonna
Hmm.
just do it. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice. We used it to, and I think Ellen, you used it for Ernest too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had set up a Discord to do metamorphoses, which Amanda and I were both a part of. And I think that also helped me gain the confidence to be like, all right, now that that's over and I don't have to
Yeah.
focus on that
Yeah.
anymore, like we can do this.
With a
We can
focus group of
have it.
12 people.
Yes, with a focus
Yeah.
group of
Which is
12 people, that was
so
nice.
not scary.
Be
Yeah.
like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
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 Totally. Cool. Well, those were all of our community questions, which means it's time for Mythbusters.
I came prepared
Yes.
after, 20 episodes of not doing this. But the myth I would like to bust is that when you fill out forms for launch day and shows, the myth that creative teams don't read them.
Mm,
Um,
Oh.
they absolutely read them. They fully read them. I mean, they create them, so it'd be kind of a silly thing to make a resource. Now, do I know where this myth comes from? Yes. So they absolutely read them. They put a lot of thought into it. They really try to address everything. There are also 84 of them, like if
yeah.
everyone filled out the form. So the other thing I will say is they are human beings. They have made mistakes.
Hmm.
They have missed things in the past. Sometimes the things written in the form, like the mistake actually might manifest in like, oh, we wrote this question, but actually doesn't help us. So like
Hmm.
know this. So like I can fully understand how it might occur, like land on some people that like, oh, what I wrote was ignored. So I also want to acknowledge that they're humans and they make mistakes, and it has an impact on people. And at the end of the day, we're all just here trying to have fun and a meaningful experience. But the other thing I would also like really advise to people is like just be really clear and concise in what you write.
Mm,
Like they don't need to read paragraphs that they need to then interpret what this really means. Just get to the point. They don't need your life story. They don't need the reasons behind
Right.
it. Yeah.
The thing that is often the most useful for me is if someone just says like, I would like to play Cassie. It doesn't mean I'm going to cast them as Cassie, but it
Yeah.
is really good to, as opposed to like interpreting what they like a message, like just saying it, just which
Yeah.
is
yeah.
hard to say that sometimes,
Yeah.
or like, like I would like to be considered for this role.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that's somebody's journey, like that
And
is
there's no judgment. If you
declarative.
think you're
There's
going to
no
be
judgment.
judged,
And it's
no.
so helpful because like there are situations where like, I'm just even reflecting on like a chorus line where Cody and I were like, wow, like this person, like, yeah, this person was great. Like we see them in like a bunch of different places where we'd be like really happy to see them. And if they've written something declarative like that, we're like, oh, okay, great. Well, that makes our job actually like easier because we can be like, great, okay, let's assume that's happening now. Or the converse of that and saying, I absolutely don't want X, Y, and Z. Like that's helpful to know also. But just like in a declarative way is helpful.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
I told you you'd like it.
I know I do like it. And I
Yeah.
do read them. And yes, we are human beings. We do our best. We do our best. So
That's a good one. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for your awesome answers and for your transparency, figuring out how to say that in real time. And as always, thanks to all of you watching or listening. I know a lot of you just listen.
I
You're
listen
missing,
personally. I
wow,
know.
you're missing my
Sorry.
really cool background.
Background. Yeah.
My Clarissa explains it all background. Yeah, this wouldn't be possible without you. And go see some of our shows that are happening.
Yeah. Sign up for shows.
Yeah, I'm doing Oklahoma if anyone wants to join me.
Wow.
Exciting.
Yeah,
Okay. So
exactly.
ready.
Alrighty.
Ready.
Great. Thank you, Ellen.
Thanks, Ellen. We appreciate
Yes,
you.
Yes.
of
Yes.
course.
Happy
Wonderful
opening
host.
night.
Oh, thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Ellen explains it all.